Hi there, I am Becky Amble, and I want to share some tips for you on AI. And this is going to be a little bit more on Claude. So I want to go back and just share this quickly with you because we went over this recently, and I want to share with you. Whoops, I have to put the sharing in. Hold on a minute. You're right there. Okay, so you might remember there was a book that I wrote a while back, and it's called How to Talk to AI or How to Talk AI. And it's based on my principles called CLEAR, CLEAR, and they all stand for something. So just a quick review again of this. So the C stands for clear and specific. Tell AI exactly what you want, be specific, break things into smaller pieces if you've got a long thing, and I know they say less is more in the old days. I almost say more is more, more is better. And you can get over the top. However, I have found not very many people get too detailed. So I would say just go for it and be pretty detailed. L is lens and language, and that's where you give AI, the audience, like you say, I'm writing this for so and so, or this is who I'm trying to reach. The tone, friendly, professional, whatever you want, and the context. So you're kind of setting the stage. And then what kind of terminology you want it to use. If you've got examples, give it examples. Explicit expectations is what the letter E stands for in the word clear. And that basically is where you tell it what you want. Do you want an outline? Do you want a blog? Do you want an article? Do you want bullets, numbers, all that kind of stuff? And again, here, if you have examples of something that you've done before or that you like, maybe it's something somebody else did, and you say, I like this format, this organization, give it to it. And then set your success criteria of what it is that you want it to do, how you want it to end up. A stands for adjust and refine, and in some cases, it happens fairly often. I have it happen mostly when I'm doing images. Anyway, you will have something where you go, I want a little more detail, or it's not quite right. Something's just a little bit off, and you need to tell it to do something more. So that's our adjust and refine, and it'll come back and give you a better answer, hopefully. Otherwise, you just reiterate again. Anyway, the last one is R for role, and that's where you give it a persona. So you tell it you are an expert in engineering or an expert in electrical engineering. I mean, you can get really specific. You're an expert on Agile, you're an expert in Six Sigma. If you're on kind of the technical side of things, you could tell it it's a CFO. You could say you're a CEO of a manufacturing company that has between 10 and 20 million in revenue. Whatever, just try to be real clear on who you want the AI to take on as a persona, because that affects the information it's going to give you. All right, enough of that. I'm going to stop that, and then I'm just going to talk a little bit here on a couple ideas. And I shared some other ideas, and just to keep it hopefully shorter and not be too overwhelming, because we can easily do that. Oh, wrong document. Hold on a minute. It's not the right piece that I had here. Okay, a couple different things for you to think about, just a couple things that we've kind of talked about. Remember to tell it how long you want it. If you had a bunch of documents and you uploaded to Claude, because you can upload 20 documents. If that was the last I checked, you could upload 20 different documents and have it analyze that or summarize. If you uploaded, let's just say you uploaded 20 documents and you said, summarize this, tell it how long. Do you want an executive summary that's a page long? Do you want a paragraph, which might be a little hard, but hey, you might be able to do that. Do you want it to be a 40-page report? All of that kind of stuff. So be real clear if you want it to be bullets or under a certain number of words or between 500 and 750. Depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you need to tell it exactly where you want it to go. So set the size that you want it to come out with and give it that direction. So that's one idea for today to give you. And let me see, I've got another one. And every time you tell it something, use your verb and be specific. So instead of saying something where you give it an email and you're thinking, oh, this email isn't quite right, instead of saying, can you fix this email or whatever, that's just too vague. So turn it into some actions where you might even get more specific. If you're using email, you might say, go to Yahoo, go to Gmail, go to Outlook, whatever it is, find the contact, this person that I wrote something to, write a response for me and keep it under X number of words, 50 words, 90 words, 100 words, 20 words, whatever you might want. Tell it what tone you want. Do you want to be professional? Do you want to be friendly? Do you want to be helpful? Do you want to be confident, casual? What might it be? So everything you tell it, make sure you're telling it that on purpose, right? So think through just all those little directions you're giving it. And another one too is just to have it search the web. I showed you where to find that in the last video. And the different versions of Claude usually have more capabilities, okay, and more tools. That's usually the main difference between 4.6, 4.8, 5.0, those kinds of things. So if you're using one of the newer versions, you still usually have to nudge it a little bit to do research, and you might say, use web research or internet research aggressively. And you might tell it to verify the claims that it's giving you. If it's doing some research, tell it to verify every claim that it makes with at least 2 sources, and you want it to identify those sources. So if you don't nudge it and give it more specific directions, it's going to just go find what it's got from the previous searches and training and from its memory and give you that. So be specific again on this when you're saying you want some research done. And as we showed in the last one, you can have it do deep research or you can have it do web research. So again, be clear in what you want. And that kind of goes back to all the things that we talked about using my prompting technique of clear, CLEAR, obviously the whole word clear is what we're talking about, and those specific little steps. And here's just 3 things that are even more specific, but fit within our overall framework. So I wanted to give you those as little things to think about and use. Let me know how you're doing. And hopefully those will give you a couple more things where you're thinking, oh, yes, I could tweak my prompts and get them a little better if I thought about maybe one of these 3 ideas and you go, oh, that would really help me. That one hit the spot. Hopefully you'll have some better output and we will look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you and invite your friends.